That idea that you can become something great, that the very streets beneath us can be incredibly inspirational and can give birth to poetry, that has really flavored the way that I teach the class. I am a longtime Columbia student and teacher. When I was first introduced to Whitman, I think what really impressed me is his likeness to my own background. He comes from a relatively uneducated background. He had to drop out of school at age 12. My parents were immigrants and, didn't really get educations. After I graduated in 2001 with my PhD, that was the first summer that I offered Walt Whitman in New York. And it just combined my two favorite things. My whole principle with teaching, I guess, is to make it fun, but also something that's truly engaging, not to just be something that you sit at a desk and do, but actually that you get up and discover. This class not only brings them out into the city, but brings them kind of layers down into the city to discover the history. For instance, I brought them to the South Street Seaport. They have a place called Bown & Company Stationers, which is a 19th century print shop, and it's actually a working print shop. They also are really great at doing workshops. An important part of the class to me, a way to keep the class fresh, is to have guest speakers. And this year we had Brian Selznick visit. Brian is most famous for a book called The Invention of Hugo Cabret, which was made into a movie called Hugo. So I like to try to kind of challenge their edges about their expectations of the classroom and to make them activate. I learned about Walt Whitman in another class by Jonathan Levin, and it was a Whitman and Dickinson class, and I was electrified. I had been studying the British Romantics, but this was an American, a New York voice that I could really sympathize with. And from that point on, I actually changed my dissertation here from a dissertation about British Romanticism to a dissertation about how British Romanticism affected Walt Whitman, and found myself transitioning over from a career in British Romanticism to American Lit. Columbia is kind of the perfect place to teach this class because it is just as much about Whitman's coming of age as a poet as it is about New York coming of age as a great metropolis. He's at once kind of a representative American and at the same time challenging the edges of what that means to really be a great American. And I feel like sometimes Americans need to revisit what that means to be a great American. And in Whitman's case, it means to be self-expressive, proudly queer, and just absolutely adoring New York City.